Hello guys, this is Elora. Welcome to my channel, and today's message is going to be for the collective from the lovely Beyond Lemuria Oracle cards by Easy Ivy. Really big size, oops, sorry. Really big cards, so if you have smaller hands, she has a smaller version, but it doesn't come with the book. And what I don't like about the smaller version is that you have a picture here, which are actually very super powerful drawings, paintings. And then the back is where she puts the text. So it's not really a blind shuffling because you can see the text for each card and the name of cards at the back. So I like the bigger version. So the message today is for everyone out there. And we had the lunar eclipse, dark moon, and we had solar eclipse, and they're all the talks about new earth and connecting with the moon and transitioning and moving. So what is the message that everyone needs to hear today? Something that will land straight into the heart and help you grow. Well, I guess that's what we're going to learn. That's what we're going to read, not learn. Okay, we have 4 cards here. So we have the air. I just love her art. We have the sound of the universe. We have the journey to wholeness. And we have She of the Lotus. Let's have a look. The book that comes with it, so that you can have an idea also how what's in the book. The air, paradigm shift, an innovative way of existing, new earth energies, inspiring others, fresh air, flying higher than you have before, more expansive perspectives, consciousness shift. So, as I mentioned, with the talks about new earth and the whole solar eclipse, and here below the equator we had dark moon. Obviously, something is happening, planetary shifts in consciousness, whatever you believe in, new earth. But I have been feeling different. I have been feeling that something is shifting. The people that I used to hang out with are no longer the people that I choose to spend my time with. And the things that I used to like are no longer the things that I like, starting from food to the place where I live, to the people that I see, to the books that I read. So things are changing, and sometimes when the change happens, we grab on to what's familiar because we're so afraid of the unfamiliar, of the new. But the expansion comes from constantly growing and allowing ourselves to expand. So if you believe in new earth, then this is a new paradigm. This is the new shift in consciousness. This is the time to expand and grow and no longer hold on to what is familiar, but go for the unfamiliar. Remembering that we only like the familiar is because that's how our brains are wired, to keep us safe. But safe is not always the place to be. So you will notice. Then we have the themes here. We have the whole text. It's obviously all about evolution and change and expanding. So, and it's beautiful because we just had the eclipse. We just had this big shift, and it's Eid al-Fitr now. It's a Muslim holiday. I'm not Muslim, but I live in Indonesia at the moment. So we just had Easter, we had the eclipse, and so obviously it's all together happening in this big pot of soup. Everything is shifting, and if we follow with this shift, we end up in a place of expansion, whether it's new earth or old earth, whatever you believe. Communication, sharing wisdom, the breath of life, movement, faith, winged helpers, intention, inspiration, change. Okay, then we have the sound of the universe, 51. I don't use this oracle that much, but when I do, it's very much on the spot on. The sound of the universe, life-changing experiences, glimpsing the great mystery, significant timing, pivotal moments, the Sri Yantra, the turning fork of universal consciousness, music transcending mundane reality. So now is not the time to be holding on and keeping yourself small, as the universe transforms and everything is always grows and expands. Our cells renew, our blood renews itself, and every 7 years we have a basically brand new body because everything renews itself, and so does the earth, and so does the universe. And when something grows and transforms and shifts, whatever lives in that organism or whatever lives on that organism is either will move with that shift or either will stay behind. One way or another, there is no judgment, but we're all in a transition, in the period of this expansion, of this change, of this growth. And so you're advised to follow and don't play small. Divinatory meaning, having your world shaken up even a little can invite a deeper glimpse of the great mystery of your life. There are myriad ways to peek behind the veil of mundane world. Ecstatic dance, spiritual exploration, and intuitive creative pursuits are just a few. Aim to naturally imbue this awareness in your everyday existence so you can avoid the sudden wake-up calls. Wake up to the hidden music, harmony, and wonder of your multidimensional world. So whether we want it or not, and I absolutely want it, it's no longer just about the physical realm. We are invited to wake up to the multidimensional nature of who we are. Because when we are no longer afraid of dying, we realize that death does not exist. We realize that we are multidimensional beings having a human physical experience. And once we wake up to that, we start having all sorts of signs and proofs to that which we believe, because it's not seeing is believing. It's first believing and then you can see, realizing and noticing things beyond the physical. And then we have the journey to wholeness, self-acceptance, wholeness, unconditional love, soul fragments, returning, accepting others as they are, staying energetically present, accepting all parts of self, healing internal dis-ease. So what happens when we start talking about the new earth, about the transition, about the shift from one consciousness into another? We often end up pointing fingers and blaming out of fear other people. Well, I'm moving, but you are dragging me down. I'm going, but you are doing this. So that defeats the whole purpose, right? Whoever chooses to stay, they will choose to stay, and whoever chooses to move will choose to move. Whoever grows will grow, and whoever wants, they want. And it's like in relationships, sometimes we outgrow our partners, we change, and they stay behind, and we have to allow them to have that choice. We have to accept that maybe it's not their time. Maybe they're happy with who they are, and all you can do for yourself and for them is take yourself out of the relationships that you have grown out of, and without bringing yourself down to the level of that person that you consider is no longer something that you want to have for yourself. Then how is arguing or blaming or pointing fingers is different from actually going back to that same level of consciousness that you're trying to move away from. So allowing everybody to be who they are and focusing on bringing the fragmented parts of yourself together, noticing where you judge yourself and what for, noticing what you're afraid of, noticing what can you release and let go. If you have some chronic issues, health issues, then noticing what thought patterns and what beliefs and what daily actions are causing that, and how you can heal that internally, because not everything is always healed by going to the doctor. Some things are psychosomatic, some things are emotional, some things are triggered by our mental and emotional states. So looking into that as well. And then the divinatory meaning of this card is loving yourself and others from a sense of wholeness exactly as you are right now. It's only from this space that healing can take place. We may find ourselves in relationships or scenarios where we can see great potential. We may have concepts of others that are not really who they are due to subconscious projections or ideals. We could have the idea that we will feel better about ourselves when we achieve a goal or status, that success will somehow make everything better. Unfortunately, this takes us out of the present and makes our love somewhat conditional. To be a healer, transcend the perspective that the being in front of you needs to be fixed. Hold this vision that they are perfect as they are. From this place, they can heal themselves through the transformative power of acceptance. Acknowledge the full spectrum of a picture and bring any fractured parts back to the present moment. In this place, we are whole and thus have the power to step into the brightest version of ourselves. And the last card we have, She of the Lotus, 43. Shadow work, addressing dissonance, seeing downfalls as flip side of superpowers, loving yourself back to wholeness, to beautiful lotus that grows from murky waters, disempowering triggers, bringing light into your dark corners. So, as I mentioned earlier, loving yourself back into wholeness, bring back together the fragmented pieces, no longer calling it shadow work, because the shadow is only that which we are not looking at. The shadow is only that which we haven't shown the light of our awareness on. So the things that we don't like in other people are possibly the things that we have in ourselves, because we all project everything that we don't like about ourselves onto other people. Because that is the only way actually for us to see it, because others are only our mirrors. But what happens is first we project it, but then because we so don't like it, we kind of push it out of our consciousness and give those qualities to that another person. Now, if you recognize without any aversions negative qualities of another person, but they don't anger you or they don't make you upset, then you're merely recognizing those qualities or seeing those qualities in that other person. If it annoys you or triggers you or pisses you off, or if it really gets to you, then that's something that you have within yourself, but you have failed to see, or you have suppressed somehow, or you judge yourself for. But whatever it is that we hate in other people that makes us emotionally upset and triggered by those qualities in another, that's what we have within ourselves that we have failed to see. And so noticing that and letting go of that, following the movement of the earth, of the planet, of the collective shift in consciousness, and keeping up with that. And all we can do is not blame others and worry how they can possibly keep us down in the vibrations that we don't like, but other noticing what is it that you have within you that you can shift, transform, and let go of. And the divinatory meaning of this card, take a look at any unconscious patterns that may be running you. Are there elements of yourself you need to take out of the trash, dust off and reabsorb? Shadows can be painful or tender to the touch. Sensitivity in the area can be a trigger that shows us where we might want to spring clean some of our darker, forgotten, ignored, or hidden corners. Accepting our shadows is the first stage in restoring ourselves to wholeness and self-love. Peel back the layers where there is shame, guilt, or fear, and bring them into the daylight. Under the loving and compassionate light, they will resolve and resalimate, so you can re-engage with your superpowers. So that was the Beyond Lemuria Oracle cards. They're really stunning, and that was the message. I highly recommend these to everyone that likes I'm not even sure what paint she uses. I think it's acrylic, but all of them are really outwardly beautiful paintings that are done by hand. And she was doing some workshops here in Bali, actually, that I've never managed to join. But there is so much detail, so I would definitely suggest the bigger version of the cards. Aether, 0 point consciousness. Look at that. Look at all these stunning details. Anyway, this is not a full flip through or review of the deck, just some information. All right, I hope that landed where it's supposed to. Thank you for being here, and goodbye.